Are black people Aboriginal Americans or Africans? Did we come from Africa or were we always here? Man, Sunday, July 30th, man, 1 p.m. Turtle, wherever I hear the word turtle, I know you're going to have something interesting to say. Turtle Gang, NYC, still turtle. You know this debate is a farce. Okay? You did a build about 5 years ago that destroyed the claim. Ah, man. Okay. What the claim was, what I say? You might be right. You might be right.
Your Honor, may I call to the stand my one and only witness?
You might be right. I don't know if it's a force. I know that we're constantly getting an influx of new people in here, and that's what it is, man. So let me throw this in here, man. Let's get to it, man. While we at it, man, let's put this in here. All right, let's get to it. Let me share the screen. And here we go, ladies and gentlemen. You're right. I'm gonna play one of the bills I did about 5 years ago, talking about this very thing. It just keeps coming back around, and people be thinking that it's brand new to me, but it's not. I'd just like to say this: most of us have these Native American stories in our family. Matter of fact, you'd be hard pressed not to find that. So I think the evidence that we were using was the skin color, and I'm gonna let you know in science, skin color is the worst identifier of who you are in science. I just have to say that. Now, what is science again? Science is the study of the natural forces in nature, so you don't get no higher than that. Speculation, hope, wanting, wishing, and even mythology, right, is not the exact study of the forces in nature. And so if you really want to understand your environment, right, then you need to study your environment. And the only way I know to study your environment is through the observation of your environment. It's the testing of your environment. And so basically, we all have these stories, right? I also like to mention Runoko Rashidi. He goes around the world and he actually catalogs peoples of color. And I just like to make this point that the majority of human beings on planet Earth are people of color. But why would that be? Why would that be? Because the majority of planet Earth, right, gets the light of raw UVA rays. Okay, so you have like 3 zones, and I'll probably get into that later. Now I probably need to get into that. Now you have 3 zones: zone 1, zone 2, zone 3. Zone 1 is absolutely on the equator, and that takes the majority of bombardment of UVA rays. And so people that are located on the equator have to have darker skin to protect the high levels of UVA rays. UVA rays will kill you. UVA rays attack the folic acid in the blood. What is the folic acid? It's a vitamin, okay? And based off of the attacking of the folic acid in the blood, okay, you'll have low birth rates, UO2 disorders, spinal bifidus, spermogenesis, where the sperm is attacked, okay? All these things causing the human species not to reproduce like they need to, right? And not allow that next generation to get to the age of reproduction. So why does the trait occur? So skin color is a trait, right? Based off of mutations. Mutations react to the environment. See, that's how powerful nature is, right? We need to understand how powerful this thing is that we're an integral part of, that we are power, right? So without that protection, right, you would die. You would go extinct. Simple as that. And so, like I said, skin is a trait, right? It's a trait that developed, right, to block out the UVA rays to allow that next generation to get to the age of reproduction. We got to understand why traits occur, right? And like I said, the trait, which is skin color, is the worst thing to look at a person and tell who they are. Why would that be? Well, because the equator is just not located in Africa. Zone 1 goes around the band of the planet. And I don't know how you could explain it with a flat earth, but they're out of there with that. But you also have, you can go to Mesoamerica, that's on the equator. You can go to portions of Australia, that's also on the equator. So everybody that you find in this band in zone 1 around the planet are going to have darker skin. Plain and simple. Not as dark in Africa, because a lot of that is on the equator in zone 1. Then you got zone 2. There's also inhabited people of color, right? That's why the Hebrews get confused, right? Because they're going to have the same complexion as North Africans would, right? Plain and simple. Skin color, right? Now, skin color, that band also goes around the North America, right? So you're going to have brown people my complexion, right? All right. Then you got zone 3 up in Europe, okay? These people have lighter skin or paler skin. Why? Because it's not that sun is not, the UVA rays aren't as harsh in the northern portion. So it don't make sense to be jet black brown in Europe. Makes no sense. Well, what about the Inuit people? Quote unquote, the Eskimos. They don't have pale skin. They live on ice on that. Well, their diet supplemented vitamin D. They ate heavy amounts of fish, which has large amounts of vitamin D. So their skin didn't need to pale out to allow more sun in. Right? Without allowing sun in, you get rickets, vitamin D deficiency. So those are brown and darker skins that live in Europe for long times, they start to have vitamin C deficiency. All right? Starts to break down. The living organisms next generation aren't making it as more frequent. So the population starts to die out. And those with pale skin start to flourish more in the colder regions, in the regions that don't have a lot of sunlight. So remember, evolution does not occur within a person. Evolution occurs in the population. So over time, the browner population, right, would get selected out naturally because it does not give you an advantage, right, in those areas without high UVA rays. So over time, the browner population will start to pale out. More pale skin is selected to survive in that environment. Now, if that same population moves back into Africa over hundreds and thousands of years, right, you'll see the reverse transformation of that. The population will start to brown out again, right? So, but the indigenous skin color, right, prior to 2500 BCE, before people was heavily migrating around the world, you know what I'm saying, man, they had brown skin, dark skin, brown skin, right, and pale skin. And you could tell where they all came from. Now we got plains, so a pale person up in Alaska, you know what I'm saying, can come on down to sub-Saharan Africa if you want. Now you got air conditioning. Now you got all these things that will protect you from the sun. Skin's just not changing like that. So I just wanted to kind of make that point, right? This work is done by Gina Dabrowski. Look that up. Skin color map. So now back to this. Back to Renika Rashidi, right? Elder, been around the world, must be respected, right? But we need a type of a conference, right? So I'm challenging the elders, right, to a conference to present their information. We ain't gonna do that. Come on, man. Y'all already know the Amaral Squad and all the families, the Dagger Squad. Man, y'all know we're very respectable, and we really appreciate the community. You know what I'm saying? So, but we need to know, right? This is an issue that is the elephant in the room. You know what I'm saying? How can we love our elders, right, and claim we stand on their shoulders, but are not willing to present information that will help further the next generations? We can't stay stuck. So based off of what they had in the 60s and the 50s and the 40s, based off of Clyde Winters has in the 70s, right, in the 80s, based off what he had, right, all they had was what they had. They couldn't see over the wall. Now we stand on their shoulders. Now we got more tools. So remember, the human genome was mapped out in 2003, April 14, 2003. Now we got to use these tools in genetics. Now we got to use new technology in dating, paleontology, archaeology, forensics. Now we have to use, they didn't have that. They had the good old-fashioned eyeball test. We call it lookership. But let me get to this article, right? 130,000 year find. Wow. I'm explaining this. So this one is called, you have two articles. One is called 130,000 year archaeological site in Southern California. Look it up. So we gotta do these. We gotta do. Look it up. Journal of Nature, right? The one I'm reading from right now is Archaeology: Unexpected Early Signs of the Americas, right? All right. Now we want to go to the work. We don't want to go to blogs. Blogs tend to try to look at articles, or their blogs will write off of blogs. Right? If you get like the New York Times, stuff like that, you'll get editors and people that deal with science. They'll go to the journal and put it in their own words, right? But for me, Okay, I like primary documentation. I like to go to the actual people's work, right, that was on an archaeological dig and see what their findings were. And then I like to read articles, right, that actually are critiquing the work. This is what you find in the journals. This is what you find in these archaeological circles. So the original article was a 130,000-year-old archaeological site in Southern California, USA. Stephen R. Hollins, Thomas A. I'm not going to read all the names of the paper, but when you're reading journals, the first person's name of that is the person that is in charge of that particular dig, right? Now we're going to read a paper in Nature, okay, by Erla Hovers. Okay, it says, humans are thought to have reached the Americas less than 15,000 years ago, but evidence of stone tool use on an animal carcass excavated in California points to a much earlier arrival of humans, relatives from the genus Homo. Okay, so wait a minute. What is meant by humans? Right? When scientists use the word humans, you got to continue to read down and know what they're saying. Because yes, we're humans, but Homo erectus is a human. Homo ergaster is a human. Homo forensis is a human. Homo heidelbergensis is a human. Homo naledi is a human. Homo neanderthal are humans. And based off of how close they are to our particular species, right, we can mate. If it's like between 200, maybe 2 million years, you know what I mean, close, right, they can mate. When those borders cross, they mate. They did a study on baboons. They found the same thing in other primates. When boundaries cross, right, they mate. No more different than when different human populations boundaries cross. They mate. Easy. So, but when scientists use the word human, you got to read further, right, to figure out what are they talking about. Don't just see the word human and say, ha ha. Well, that is the mistakes that some of the elders have made. They look at the blog, right? The blogger doesn't necessarily understand the information. He takes the word human. I seen him doing it on Sports Center. This particular article, right? They talked about Sports Center. Man, humans in America 130,000 years. Man, they're not qualified to talk about that issue. They took the word human and ran with it. Unscientific. So this particular paper is talking about humans. Now the question is, have they identified what humans? You have more than one human species residing on planet Earth at one time. That's the facts. You also have archaic humans. We aren't even archaic humans like A00. You know what I'm saying? But we carry some of those markers, some of us. Right? So watch this. So it gets on to say relatives from the genus Homo. So we're talking about the genus Homo family. So they're saying that one of the genus Homos, right, was in the Americas. Now, they didn't find any bones at 130,000. They found the mastodon, right, and was butchered, so they think, right, and they found certain tools. Let me keep going on. Get right to it real fast so we can just show the difference. So our elders, right, not expecting to know everything. That's why we're here. And this is out of total respect, right? And then y'all can't handcuff me. I didn't sign up to get handcuffed. I didn't sign up to have a bunch of elders that just handcuff me and I can't say what I want to say. As long as I'm respectful, as long as I'm presenting my sources right, I signed up to be able to move the community forward the same way they signed up to move the community forward. Where would we be without the scholars in our community? Where would we be without Professor James Smalls? You don't got a brother Ankh talking like this. You know what I'm saying? I was mesmerized listening to his classes. What about John Henry Clark? What about Dr. Ben? Where would I be at? What about Dr. Claude Winters? Let me give him his proper title, Dr. Claude Winters. Where would I be? He's one of the first doctors that came on my program. I appreciate him, and I will always give him the utmost respect, whether I agree with his findings or not. It's an intellectual gunfight. We're at the OK Corral, and we banging, but we're going to bang respectfully, and we're going to bang with books, knowledge, and information. We're not going to go in and cuss out our elders. How much work has Dr. Clyde Winters put in, right, for the black family? Most of y'all banging ain't even wrote no daggone books. Y'all don't even understand the argument. I'm going to go into Dr. Clyde Winters' books. He uses sources from the journal of Nature. All right? All of the elders was right when they said that the first Americans wasn't pale skin. They was right. We can't take that from them. It's a fact. And they said they not only had browner skin, right, that they didn't look like the Native Americans look. They was right. So, you know what I'm saying? We're not taking away the things they said that was right, but now based off that's why science is so important, because the thing keep going. Now that more available information has come out, right? Now we can start to triangulate and get right to the points. So we use DNA and stuff like that. Oh, DNA's white man DNA. Wait a minute. If not for DNA actually verified and proved, right, that the first human species to walk upright was Africans in Africa, that the oldest stuff, that we come from the oldest branch of humanity. DNA proved that the African Americans are descended from those populations, right, that first originated in Africa. It's a two-edged sword. You can't have it one way, not the other way. So if you throw away DNA, then you throw away the fact that you started out in Africa. Or evolution, that monkey shit. Evolution not no monkey shit. Evolution proves and verifies that African people transformed their environment as they traversed around the planet. So when we made the argument that we're all fundamentally African, y'all all got crazy. You can't have it both ways. Either the population in the Americas extend from an African population or they don't. If you say they don't, then all right, then prove how they don't. And then you can't say they're African. You can't say they nothing. Let me keep reading here. Bunch of foolery. So I don't want no elders getting upset at me, right? Y'all got to know this is what we do. So I'm thinking we need to have a conference where we present the information so that the community, right, one, can meet the damn elders for real, bridge that gap, right? Integration gap, generation gap, integration trap. Once we got integrated, man, we got trapped and not even understand who our elders was. So we need to have a conference to talk about this. Very, very important. And then we need elders to understand, like, I'm 51, right? Getting older. There's going to be another generation. There are going to be more tools that they dispersal, and things that I had might have been wrong. Foundations are strong. A lot of information is right, but based off of more information, you get a better understanding of the picture. So we always got to be open-minded in this thing here. So we use evolution and DNA and paleontology, archaeology, because it absolutely proves that, one, the Africans started the first civilizations, that the Africans are the first with cognitive thinking skills at 160,000 years. We were the first shellfish eaters. We were the first hunters. We were the first farmers, among some of the first farmers. Farming ain't even as important as y'all think it is. Yeah, farming represents failure, meaning crops aren't growing naturally anymore. But we still can use DNA on the plants to tell where that original plant came from that was farming in Asia. Ethiopian brands of rice and wheat and barley, right, end up in Asia, transported by Africans to Asia, and then you get farming. So we're going to use those tools. Yeah, I got y'all with that. Let me get right here real quick. It says 7 hominid species. No, several hominid species. Hominid, look it up. Homin, hominids. Right? When I say look up words, look up words. Don't get in the comment section talking crazy and you're not looking at the words I'm asking you. This is a class. Several hominid species roamed Eurasia 130,000 years ago. Although different species had not necessarily developed similar technological behaviors. It says possible hominid candidates. They're talking about the possible hominid candidates, right? For the authors of this is the CERUTTI, that's Kertuti Mastodon site. That's the one in California now, right? Are late populations of Homo erectus, Neanderthals, and the elusive Denisovans. Let me read this again. It said possible hominid candidates, right? So I'm going to name the hominids, right? For the authors of the Certuti Mastodon site, the mastodons are those elephants, woolly mammoths, right? Site, are late populations of Homo erectus, Neanderthals, and the elusive Denisovans, known through genetic analysis, right, of only a bone and some teeth. It says genetic analysis of present-day Amazonian Native Americans linked them to indigenous Asians and Australian population, which are linked in turn to the Denisovans. Such traits are weak and absent in modern indigenous North and Central American populations and in North Americans from the late Pleistocene, which might indicate a diverse set of founding populations of the Americas. They say this could support at least one early before 14,000 years ago entry into the Americas, but the exact timing remains an open question. Holland and colleagues do not report skeleton or DNA evidence that could reveal the identity of the hominids whose presence is inferred at the site. Now, so you got Homo denisovans, right? Homo erectus. So Homo denisovans is really Homo erectus outside of Africa, right? You got Homo neanderthal, right? So these early Paleo Americans, right, would have had traces of Denisovan in them or Neanderthal in them. See, now the modern Native Americans that we find now, they don't have those traces in them because they came along late. Remember, the first migration that came out of Africa ran into these archaic human forms, right, and made it with them. I got y'all. That's a checkmate moment right there. I'm gonna say this real slow, right? That the later Native Americans that came in, they don't have these traits or a little bit of those traits of archaic humans in them, right? But those early forms of those Paleo Americans, right? They do have those traits in that. Oh man, here we go again. All right, we know that the Africans that didn't leave Africa, that would later on become part of the transcontinental kidnapping trade, we don't have Neanderthal in our blood. We only get Neanderthal and Denisovan in our blood after we link back up and mix with Europeans. That's a checkmate moment right there. I'm gonna let y'all unravel that. Let me finish reading here. It say Holland, right? It's the author. It says, do not consider the insular Homo florensis as a possible early colonizer of the Americas, and most evidence indicate that modern Homo sapiens, this is important, had not yet dispersed out of Africa 130,000 years ago. So watch this. How can Homo sapien be in the Americas at 130,000 years when they had not yet left Africa? I'm gonna say this real slow, right? Let's pay attention, right? Class is in session. How can Homo sapiens, which is the branch of humanity we're a part of, our species, look it up. Google Homo sapiens. How can they be in the Americas, right, at 130,000 years or 133,000 years, which that article talked about, right, if they hadn't left Africa yet? They know when early humans dispersed from Africa, around 130,000 years. It takes about another 100,000 years to walk to Americas. I know y'all think that the early Africans had some kind of beacon melanin system that they could hold their arms out, and as they push their arms out, the bushes start to part. You know, like the Red Sea, we got in the mind, the fauna, the plant life start to part, trails automatically start to pop up as they walk. You know, like the pineal gland pointed through the forest and move stuff out the way so they could constantly walk. You know what I'm saying? That walk would take them about 2-3 years. Yeah, I know y'all think that happened, but that's not how it happened. Human populations migrate, they sit for 20,000 years, right? The food, they follow their food sources, right? So you got the herbivores, you know what I'm saying? We eat herbivores because we omnivores. The herbivores follow the herbs and the plants, and when they move, you know what I'm saying? Then the carnivores follow the herbivores because the carnivores is eating herbivores, and the omnivores is following the carnivores, right? You know what I'm saying? Because they eating that. You know what I mean? Which is us, we're omnivores, we're following everything. We eating everything. We eat plants, bugs, fish, bird, everything. We eating everything. So we following everything. So like, watch this. So when the plant life changes, those who eat the plants, the herbivores eat plants. They leave out the areas. Now the carnivores that eat the herbivores move out the areas. Now the omnivores that eat the carnivores and the herbivores move out the area. These takes hundreds of thousands and thousands of years to move to different areas. I know y'all think they had planes, buses, and trains, but no. I stop that, man. Take y'all time, man. Take y'all time. Class move fast around here, man. Now, you might not like what I'm saying, but we getting it in right now. We getting it in. Hey, man, shout out to Abjuwear, man. Y'all know them flops came in, the female version. The fluffy flops with the map of Africa on the RBG. Man, get that at abjuwear.com. ABDJUWEAR.com. Hey, go to Anime Productions, get your mail track. Right? Sign up for Mocha University, Asal Hotep's class. All right, on research methodology. Sign up for Wuja's class. All right. Metanetric class. All right. Get everybody books. Sign up to the group, Magi Archers group. For financial understanding, big coins. He got his own coin, Hyro coin. All right. We got Raw Squad University coming. Dr. Oya Maya gonna be teaching math. Sister Naya, right? She's gonna be teaching psychology. speculate that archaic Homo sapiens sapiens, which you are not, right, could be responsible for the Creatura Macedon site. So there you have it. All right. I've absolutely explained, okay, this 130,000-year-old site. This is class 2. Man, I appreciate y'all, man. Make sure y'all support me, abjeware.com. You can also go to UmandRawSquad.com. Right. Shout out to all the members. Shout out to Master Clan Warriors. Brother Ben, he's starting a journal. Okay, I forget the name of the daggone journal he's starting, man. So y'all can get that. All right. He has 2 books. All right. So let me see. I know I got them right here. All right. Got the books. All right. Aaron goes to Africa. You can get them at the bookstore, right? Black Dot Bookstore. Let me give you the address. The address is 6984 Main Street, Lithonia, Georgia, 30058. You can get these right here. Before I tap out, I want to go to my section real fast, right? Well, I talk about Clyde Winter's book real quick? Let me do this real quick. Show you the Clyde, his table of contents, right? It says the Almax 1, Chapter 1, Chapter 2, decipherment of the Futena Magna Bowl, right? That's a bowl. That's FUENTE, right? Then it's capital MAGNA bowl. Look at that. Then you got Chapter 3, the cuneiform writing of the Futinity Magna bowl, right? Chapter 4, the Poktina inscription. I don't gotta read this book. Based off the table of contents, I know I gotta read this book. Got you, Clyde. Got you. Yeah. All right, look, let me do this real fast. Let me go in this section real quick. Show you how we do. All right. I'm ending with this. Hold on, y'all. Y'all know how we doing, right? All my magazines, journals, and all that. Y'all, I got sections everywhere. Real quick here, y'all. All right. So right here, we got science. Journal Science, right? A coastal route tracking the journey of the first Americans. All right. This will segue us into our next class. I'm going to show you how the new available evidence is really talking about arrival to the Americas by boats down the coastline, right? So let me see on page 542, I believe. Yeah, 541, I still got it. All right, so right here, right, this says coastal connection. I don't know if y'all can see it. You see different sites going down the coast. All right. Just basically saying most archaeologists now think people arrived in the Americas by boats about 14,000 years ago and hopped down the Pacific coastal, and a growing list of ancient coastal sites like these support the idea. You got pre-clove site, you got late coastal site, you got Parsley Cave, that's on the coast near Canada, 14,300 years ago. You got Channel Islands, 13,000 years ago, right underneath that. Getting close to Mexico right here, you got Cedros Island, 12,600 years ago. Then you get to South America, you got Hookah Pretena, and I know I'm mispronouncing it. That's Hakka, that's H-U, Hukacha, H-U-A-C-A. Then you got Prithia, that's Prithia, P-R-I-E-T-A, that's in South America. Then you got Chow, okay, at 14,500. So there you go, all going down the coast. Then you got the Lost Lands, right? It says before the ice glacier melted, Cedars Island was connected to the Beja Peninsula. Archaeologists suspect many early sites up and down the Pacific coast were lost beneath the seas. That's all right here detailing this. Okay. Man. Turtle Gang, NYC, still turtle. You might be right.
You can't fake this long, partner.